Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be the final days of the narcissistic relationship. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So frequently on the channel, I mentioned that every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date, and that's 100% true. If you really think about it, every relationship has an expiration date, because relationships that were built to last, which is definitely not a narcissistic relationship, eventually one of the people in the relationship, they move on. In other words, they leave the planet, if you get my point. So having said that, the final days of the narcissistic relationship, these are unlike any other days that you have experienced in your life. Think about how that relationship ended that you were a part of with the narcissistic individual or people. How did it end? Did it end with a thud, a crash, a bang? Did you understand that you were feeling a little off kilter maybe a couple days before the ending of the relationship took place? In other words, you were feeling uneasy and you sensed something was off, virtually like you sensed throughout most of the relationship. But right before the discard happened, if you were discarded, let's say you sensed that something was wrong, something wasn't quite adding up, and your spidey senses were tingling, you couldn't quite figure it out because, first of all, you didn't know what narcissism was. Second of all, you didn't know what a discard was. And third of all, you probably thought you could patch things up just like you did previously in that relationship. But remember, when you were in the relationship with the narcissist, you were essentially an unpaid helper. You were a walking apology. You were a person working for the narcissist and working for the relationship. You were not in a loving, kind, stable, healthy relationship that was reciprocated by the other person. You were in a very dark relationship. You were existing in the narcissistic fog, being devalued each and every day. You were being peppered with abuse, peppered with gaslighting, stonewalling, silent treatment, the smear campaign, triangulation, my least favorite thing these people do. But this behavior and these behaviors, you were tolerating these throughout the relationship because most likely you either fell in love with the narcissist or you were tethered to them by money or by kids or by relocating or creating a business with them or something. But eventually, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date, and the final days before the ending of the relationship, these days were very challenging for you. Perhaps, let's say if you were discarded, go back in time. Were many things culminating or adding up? Was the poor behavior being expressed more and more and more? Was the narcissist in your environment, or were they disappearing for weekends, or were they staying late at work, or were they blame shifting you too much, or were they triangulating you? All these poor behaviors, they add up over time. Being in a narcissistic relationship, it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's an insidious creeping up in your life. It's a way that the narcissist administers the punishment to their target, which at one point was you, and it certainly was me. The narcissist knows what they're doing. You need to understand that. The narcissist also wanted to discard you if you were discarded. Now, if you weren't, and this video is not focusing on the discard, if you weren't, think about what happened with you. Maybe you were planning your exit to remove yourself from the narcissistic relationship. And the final days, you had all of your ducks in a row, and now you had some money in the bank, and you had a place to go, and you had a job lined up, and you had an apartment lined up, or you had a place to go to. Maybe you planned this out because you were going to remove yourself from the relationship. If that's you, you are a very, very strong individual. My hat goes off to you, because most people who exit the narcissistic relationship, it usually comes via discard by the narcissist. And I'll tell you why, for many reasons. One, because they want to punish you, and they most likely also have found your replacement or the new supply, or they've taken what they could from you. In other words, your resources, which include your time, money, energy, effort, empathy, love, status, health, all those things were being depleted, and they realized that your tank was running low. So what did they do? They said, next up at bat, who's coming in next? Oh, it's the new supply, here we go. And the cycle goes on and on and on, and you were discarded. You were crumbled up like a sheet of paper and thrown away on the freeway. You were left for dead. It's what happened with me. Point being, these toxic narcissistic people, they don't think you're ever going to heal. They don't ever think you're going to grow. They don't think you're going to rebuild yourself and rise through the ashes like a phoenix and enter the third version of you, the most galvanized, strongest version of you known to humankind. But you do, and here you are. You're getting the wisdom in the community. You're paying it forward. You are helping people get across the bridge to the freedom, the liberation, the pinnacle of indifference once you have properly addressed the narcissistic relationship, which means you've journaled, you have meditated, you have slowed your life down, you've seen a therapist who unfortunately perhaps has gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle, you've watched videos, you've healed childhood wounds, etc. All the things that I mentioned on the channel. But these will need to be done because in time, in your time, you will heal if you take the wisdom I'm applying to you here on the video, with you on the video. But the final days of the narcissistic relationship, think about it. If you were discarded, the day you were discarded, what did you do? Maybe you came home to an empty house and there was nothing left in your house. How did that feel? Not good. Maybe you went to look at the bank account because you had to pay some bills and your bank account was drained. There was no money left in it. What happened there? Well, again, financial abuse, but the narcissist took your money and disappeared, and they didn't want to leave a trace, and they acted like maybe you took the money. You didn't take it. The narcissist had this lined up the whole time. These are just pro tips to let you know what the narcissist thinks. They think that what is yours should be theirs, and they're envious and jealous. And many times these people want to take whatever they can from you, whether it suits them or not. The point is, they don't want you to have what you have. They want to remove it from you. And that goes back to relationships. Let's think of parental alienation. Let's say you shared kids with the narcissist. Well, after you were discarded or after the relationship ended, were you allowed to see the kids? Think about this. You probably weren't, unless you're one of the fortunate ones and unless the court system ruled in your favor. But the narcissist doesn't want you to see the kids. They don't want the kids growing up to be healthy, stable people. They want to continue to create more and more narcissists on the planet. That's why they don't have boundaries for their kids. That's why they don't correct the poor behavior. They actually enjoy it. But that's for a whole separate video series or speaking publicly. The final days before the narcissistic relationship, these are unlike anything you've ever experienced. Let's say that you were discarded, your bank account was drained, or you came home to an empty house, or maybe all of the narcissists maybe they took all their belongings out of your house, and the only things that were left were things that were broken or crashed or things that didn't mean anything to the narcissist. Well, I hear that frequently also. These days are meant to shock you. The discard usually happens around key events in time, like your birthday, a holiday, special occasion, or when you're going into the hospital or having a procedure done, or when you're coming out, or when a baby is about to be born, or when you relocate. Yes, sometimes that even happens. There are many times, many different ways the narcissist will discard people. But the days before the narcissistic relationship ended, you could sense that something was off. You knew something was wrong. But then again, you knew something was wrong the whole time you were in the relationship. Probably, if you want the truth, even from the beginning when you met the person, because the person's energy, the narcissist that is, their energy is off. It's a little bit different. It vibrates really low. And what did they probably do when they met you? They probably batted their eyelashes or gave you a little grin or a little smirk, or they just looked at you and studied you and figured out what made you tick. And then they said, well, this one will do, which was you. This person will be the next new supply. I'll groom them. I'll get close to them. I'll trick them. I'll trap them. I'll manipulate them. I'll have them fall in love with me. And the next thing I know, I will siphon away all of their energy and all their resources. And I will take it for myself because this is what I do. And when this person, which was you, all of your resources are depleted and they're gone, or really low, I will crumble them up and throw them away, and I will get the new supply lined up in place. That's why the cycle goes on and on and on. And you really need to get the message, which is to go no contact, block these people, remove them, delete all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? If you can't do that, utilize gray rock, which means just become dull and boring and get off the radar of the narcissist. Now, again, I understand that many people are tethered to the narcissist. Many people are living with them as roommates. They went from romance to roommates. They're living in the left wing of the house. The narcissist is living in the right wing, and the narcissist knows what they're doing. They're just slowly bleeding you dry of all your resources. You're probably paying all the bills, providing them financial support, but maybe you married them, so they know that they can bleed you dry. They're going to play the long waiting game. And these days, think about this one. If that was you or is you, you went from romance to roommate, well, that's not fun. And you're counting the days till you can get divorced from the narcissist. You're counting the days till you don't have to see them or feel their toxic energy in your house. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you probably had or have court dates or hearings or meeting with the lawyer, and you probably have a timeline. Caveat there, remember, divorcing the narcissist is not the easiest thing to do. That's for another whole different video series, but it usually takes a lot of time to break free from these people, because they usually play the long, drawn-out waiting game, and they will wait out as long as they possibly can so you don't advance with your life, so you don't fall in love again, so you stay stuck in the cycle. so you stay stuck in the trauma bond or in their environment. And this is exactly what the narcissist wants. Now I'm bouncing around a lot here, but understand the final days of the narcissistic relationship. If you've exited the relationship, drop comments below. You know what your final days were like. Share your experiences and your insight with the community. Each and every one of us who have made it this far in the video, we either have been in a narcissistic relationship, we are in one, or we are looking to exit one. One of those three things. And if we have already exited, whether we were discarded or we ended it ourselves, we know how challenging it was. Let's go back to this one. Let's say that you ended it yourself. Let's say there was a day, a period of time when the narcissist was just ramping up the abuse so much, and in the back of your mind, you were saying, you know, I'm gonna get out of here one day. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna do it. I know I'm gonna do it. But that day never came because the narcissist kept drawing you back in, and maybe you were reliant on the narcissist for money or for a house or whatever it was, because they had you pinned down so you didn't have the ability to leave. This is what they want to do many times, to have you become reliant on them so you can't leave. And then they make your life even worse and worse and worse. But let's say that was you. And then one day you said, I'm done, I'm out of here. I'm gonna jump on a plane, I'm gonna get out of here as fast as I possibly can, or I'm gonna have someone pick me up, or I'm gonna go, whatever I'm gonna do, jump on a bus. Well, if you did that, think about what I'm sharing with you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You were pushed to the threshold, you were pushed to the breaking point when you knew something had to give. It was either you removing yourself from that relationship, or maybe it was your existence that was what would be in jeopardy. Understand what I'm sharing with you. These toxic narcissistic relationships, they do not improve. They only deteriorate over time. They never improve because the narcissist is aging each and every day. And the longer you stay tethered to these people, or the longer you are in their proximity or vicinity, the more abuse is dished out to you. And any human being can only take so much punishment before they can't take it any longer. And they will either experience reactive abuse, or they will have to leave themselves, or the discard will happen, or the fourth option there is they stay trapped in that narcissistic fog, the zombie-like trance-like state. But that's not for this video, because if that was you, you're in the narcissistic fog, well, you didn't exit the relationship yet, so this video wouldn't pertain to you. It would pertain to people who were discarded or they ended it themselves. Share your wisdom. Let us know what the final couple days before the relationship ended, what they were like for you. Pay it forward. Really help out the community. I will tell you firsthand, the final days of the relationship are very challenging because you know the weight of the relationship is about to collapse, but you don't know what narcissism is because you weren't taught it in school. So you can't figure out what it is. And then let's say you were discarded. Okay, well then now, after time has passed by and you've healed, or you're well on the healing path, then you can reflect back on the few days before the discard happened, and you can say to yourself, yeah, I remember that. Things were very heavy and challenging, and the narcissist wasn't around that much, and there was a lot of pressure, and it was a pandemic, and health was ailing, and finances were at zero, and something had to give. And then what happened? Boom. Something did give, and you get discarded, and then you have to figure out, oh my gosh, maybe a month later or 3 weeks later, that the person that you fell in love with was a toxic narcissistic individual, because that's exactly what I'm referring to. And then you went down the rabbit hole of discovery, and you realized it wasn't your fault. You were manipulated, that they batted the eyelashes and showed the rosy cheeks to get you to fall in love with them when they can't fall in love themselves. The narcissist is an empty shell. They have no empathy, and they can't fall in love, and they have no love. What they have is disdain for you. They have nothing but toxic thoughts about you. You may think, well, that's a little rough, Andrew. No, it's real. Think about it. When the relationship ended, did you get closure? Did you experience a smear campaign? Did they want you 6 feet under? Did they want you to survive? No. They wanted to crush you and to take as much from you as they possibly could. That's what parental alienation is. That's what the smear campaign is. That's what the discard is. This is all a game of smoke and mirrors of manipulation and opportunity to the narcissist. The narcissist does not care about one person on the planet other than themselves. That is a fact. They can't introspect. They can't change their behavior for the betterment. All they can do is fine-tune their skills of manipulation and hone in on those and get other unsuspecting individuals to fall in love with them or enter relationships with them, or they recycle past relationships from other toxic people or people who haven't healed. That's what they do. The cycle continues. It goes on and on and on. You need to remove yourself from it if you can. Now, before I close the video, understand the final days before the ending of the narcissistic relationship, you could feel the pressure mounting. You could feel the tension. You could cut the air with a butter knife. You knew that you were being treated differently. You knew that you were being looked at differently. You knew that your resources were completely decimated. You knew that now perhaps the narcissist had the upper hand when you didn't even know they were a narcissist, meaning in the beginning when you met them, maybe they were an employee of a business. Well, now they owned their business. Maybe you had a lot of money and health and a couple cars and your mortgage was almost paid off. Well, now you did not. You had a mountain of credit card debt. Your mortgage was twice what it should have been or what it was in the past. Your health was ailing and you had no money. And all of your social circle, all of the network of friends that you built up over the years, they disappeared like that. Why? Because they were all drinking the Kool-Aid and listening to the toxic narcissistic smear campaign. But what those people don't understand is, again, if they are still in communication with the narcissist, either A, those people are toxic themselves, B, they're flying monkeys and they're clueless, or C, they could be a target themselves. This is how the cycle goes on and on and on. When you get the wisdom, you need to apply the tools. When you apply the tools, then what you become is a non-people pleaser, a non-yes person, a person with boundaries, a person that knows their value and their worth. This is what you must do, because you've gone through something or you are going through something, which is the toxic narcissistic relationship. Most people don't go through it. Most people don't get the wisdom. Most people don't apply the tools. Most people don't learn from this. They really don't. You may think, well, everyone learns. No, they don't. They really don't. Because you can read it in a book or you can talk to a person about it, but if you didn't experience it and actually process the wounds and have the sleepless nights and all the crying and the gaining weight or losing weight and the self-isolation, meaning you're in the cocoon of boundaries, processing things and learning all about that these people actually do exist. It's not just in a storybook or a fairy tale. These are real people. If you don't do that, you're not going to heal. But to heal properly, you're going to have to be patient with yourself, stoic, calm, centered. You're going to have to be resilient and understand that this was not your fault. You were manipulated. You were duped, tricked, and trapped. And then narcissists knew what they're doing. And they know what they're doing right now. Wherever they are, they know exactly what they're doing. So, guys, again, before I close the video, if you can recall some of the last days before the ending of the narcissistic relationship, drop comments below. Pay it forward. If you have any wisdom, share it with the community. I would really appreciate it. The idea is to pay your experiences forward to people that perhaps right now are in a toxic narcissistic relationship and they don't even know that they're in one. That at one point was you, and it certainly was me. So that's why we need to heal, and when our cup is full, we give back to people and trusted and loved ones that we surround ourselves with, and that's the community. Guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that you are not alone. God bless you all. I love you, and have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. Pay it forward, guys. Remember, at one point, this was you. You were in a very challenging, precarious situation. I was as well. Maybe you're in one right now. Play the video, play it often, and share it, and pay it forward. God bless you. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye, you guys.